13 News Now begins with breaking news.
We are following breaking news in Yorktown. We have just learned that a female Walmart employee was shot in the store parking lot this morning.
The York-Poquoson Sheriff's Office tells us one person is in custody. 13 News Now reporter Jacqueline Lee joins us live from Yorktown with the latest on the situation. Jacqueline, how did this start and what have you learned?
Yeah, Christina, well, we know that it first started over there in the home and pharmacy section. The York-Poquoson Sheriff said there was a Walmart employee working in the optometry section when a friend of hers walked in, brought in a gun. Apparently, the two women, they started getting in some sort of fight. We don't know exactly if it was physical or if it was just a verbal fight. Eventually, though, it progressed outside over there, and then apparently, according to a witness that we spoke with, the two women started sprinting down the parking lot. And then if you guys take a look right over there is where the victim was shot, according to a witness. There it looks to be some sort of forensic box covering the victim's bag. So we know that the York-Poquoson Sheriff is currently investigating this. So in terms of what happened to the victim, she was shot. She was taken to the Virginia Peninsula, she was taken to a local hospital where she's currently undergoing surgery. We don't know what exactly her condition is. They could not answer that at this point in time. As for the shooter, the only thing that we know is that she's a 34-year-old woman. She is currently at the Virginia Peninsula Regional Jail, and she does not have any charges at this point in time. However, she is looking at abduction, malicious wounding, and a firearm violation. So we're trying to figure out what exactly was the motive for this. The sheriff does not have an answer for us at this time, but we'll continue working on that. So we will have an update for you guys at 12:30. Live in Yorktown, Jacqueline Lee, 13 News Now.
Thank you for that, Jacqueline. Well, there are lots of questions surrounding the deadly attack on Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Here's what we know. 17 people are dead and 5 others are critically injured.
The suspected gunman is a former student, and now investigators are trying to figure out why he did this. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has the latest.
After a long and painful afternoon at Florida's Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, authorities are learning more about Nicholas Cruz, the expelled former student they say was armed for war when he attacked the school.
Because of issues that arose here, he was transferred to another school.
Police say the suspect was armed with an AR-15 style rifle. A fire alarm sounded which allowed students to be targeted out in the open. Some terrified students hid in classrooms, not knowing if they would survive.
We were just like praying and crying.
Police and SWAT teams swarming the school grounds.
Do you know where the shooter is? We don't know, but we're entering the building. Get your hands up.
These teens sharing how some teachers helped save their lives. One, Mr. Beagle, was at the front door of a classroom protecting them.
Because he was blocking the door, so the door was so open all the time. I don't know how we're alive.
At least 17 people lost their lives and more than a dozen are wounded. The victims, both students and teachers. After initially only offering tweets, President Trump today addressing the nation.
Yesterday, a school filled with innocent children and caring teachers became the scene of terrible violence, hatred, and evil.
Here in Parkland, the Sheriff's Department says all of the victims have been identified and the parents notified. As for the gunman, authorities say Nicholas Cruz now faces 17 counts of premeditated murder. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Parkland, Florida.
All right, let's count them. This is the 18th shooting incident in 45 days in this country so far this year. The database, everytownresearch.org, tracks shootings across the United States. Here's what it looks like on a map. 8 of them involved gunfire, but no injuries. 7 others were intentional shootings that caused injuries or deaths. 2 were suicide-related, and 1 was deemed accidental, although someone did get hurt.
Now to breaking news in Virginia Beach. A two-car accident claims someone's life in Virginia Beach on Oceana Boulevard. Right now, Oceana Boulevard is closed in both directions from Bells Road to S Curve near Louisa Avenue. The accident happened around 10:50 this morning. We're working to get more information and we'll update you as we learn more. Just into the 13 News Now newsroom. This man, John Princeton, is behind bars right now on dozens of child pornography charges. The Port of Virginia tells us Princeton is a Port Authority police officer. Virginia Beach police tell us they brought him into custody yesterday. We're told his crimes took place over the last 12 months. Officers are still investigating, and he's on unpaid administrative leave tonight.
Today, city leaders in Hampton Roads will meet to consider taking a region-wide stance against offshore drilling. The Hampton Roads Planning District Commission is expected to request that the waters off of our coast be left alone. 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton joins us live outside of the regional building in Chesapeake with more details on this. Allie.
Lucy, that meeting is supposed to start any minute in the next 20 or 25 minutes, and several city leaders and county leaders will meet here to talk about that offshore drilling. Now, the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission is expected to request that the waters off our coast to be excluded from President Trump's plan to expand the program. You may recall several local and state leaders have already come out against offshore drilling. Among them, Senator Tim Kaine. He thinks the program could devastate the local military.
If Florida is off limits and so there's not going to be any more drilling activity in the Atlantic coast, and we were to have it, 5 years from now or 10 years from now, it could enable Florida to poach military assets away from Hampton Roads in a way that would be very bad for the economy here.
Now, some local business owners are also against the plan because they think it could hurt the tourism industry. Now, I'll be inside that meeting at 12:30 and bring you all the latest on air and online at 13 News Now. Live in Chesapeake, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.